Let's make sure we on. We on? Okay, cool. Hey, what's up, y'all? And welcome to the 20th episode of Trippin with Theobold. I'm your host, Andre Theobold. I go by Dre Theo. I go by AT. I go by Dre. I probably have more nicknames yet to come, but welcome to another edition of Trippin with Theobold. And for all my new listeners that don't know why this show is called Trippin with Theobold, it's called Trippin with Theobold because I trip in speech and I trip in thought, right? I figuratively trip in thought and I literally trip in speech. All right, I grew up with a speech impediment, and it's not all the way gone. And since I don't believe in doing retakes, if I mess up and have a bloop bloop, I'm just gonna call it out and be like, "Man, come on, Dre." That's what we do. And then also, I figuratively trip in thought, meaning that I think outside the box. I ask a lot of crazy questions. I'm after the truth. So, hence the name Trippin with Theobold. But come on, Dre. You see, I kind of hesitated right there. You see, you saw that? Y'all saw that? Boom. All right. So, anyways, before we go any further, I want y'all to go and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Tell a friend to tell a friend. Subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Because right now, I am at Eric Smedley number of followers, or not followers. This is not Instagram. Right now, I'm at Eric Smedley number of subs or subscribers. All right. So, if you don't know, Eric Smedley is a former safety of the Buffalo Bills back like in the late '90s, and he wore the number 40. So I have 40 subs right now. So tell a friend to tell a friend, and maybe next week I can be at Reggie Gilliam number of followers. You don't know who Reggie Gilliam is. He's the fullback for the Buffalo Bills, and he wears number 41. All right, so if you guys can't tell, I'm a Bills fan, but I have a Wizards hat on. Yeah, I know it's weird. I was born in Buffalo, raised in the Maryland, D.C. area, hence me being a Bills, Wiz, Nats, Sabres fan. So y'all can do the math and work out uh, what teams I like and why, or why I like those teams. But anywho, let me go ahead and get into today's. Let's go ahead and just start the show off, man. Because yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start the show off. Starting off very awkward right now, but fuck it, we here. Oh man, I cussed. I'm cool. Nah, see, I caught myself. Um, so I just found out through my man Kwame Brown. Shout out to Kwame Brown, man. But I just found out that if you cuss within the first 2 minutes of your YouTube video, they deprioritize your video down the chain. So right now I'm at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm at 3 minutes right now because I'm probably gonna chop off the first part of this video. But I cussed, and I cussed like at the 2 minute and 47 mark. So I'm good. I'm good, baby. I can talk this shit the way that I want to talk this shit. And that's what we gonna do. I need a coaster or something, man. Shoot. Man. Let me use this as a coaster for right now. All right, here we go. So so let's go ahead and do some promo. I like to put people's stuff out there. I like to promote people's stuff. Let me go ahead and start with this. So, as y'all know, or probably don't know, I collect hats, tees, hoodies, socks, and kicks. So shout out to my brother Kyrie Irving, man, with these Kyries, man. I just got these Kyries recently. These are the Weathermans. Nice sporty shoe, you know what I'm saying? Good comfortable shoe. And then I got the Kyrie Daybreaks. Uh-oh. That's bad. Oh well. I'll get that out of there. But yeah, I got the Kyrie Daybreaks. So you see, I'm not gonna show you the bottom. The bottoms are nasty. But yeah, I got 3 pair of Kyries. These are 2 of the 3 pair of the Kyries that I have. Like when I first got these here, I thought that when I saw the ad, I thought these Kyries were silver, but they're really violet, as you can tell by the color. And me and my boy Lonnie had a long drawn out debate about what color these shoes really were, and he was right. These are violet. They're purple, but they dope. You know, and then these are the Weathermans right here. So shout out to Kyrie, man, for these are the Kyrie 7. I mean, it is the Kyrie 7s, shit. But yeah, shout out to Kyrie, man. These are dope shoes. It's a solid shoe. They're not quite Kobe's, because people that know me, I'm a big Kobe shoe fan, man. Kobe shoes are comfortable, man. Like he mastered the basketball shoe. That's one thing Kobe did in addition to his great career, man, was he mastered the basketball shoe. Those Kobe's are just so comfortable, man. But Kyrie's aren't, like, they're not as comfortable as the Kobe's, but they're sturdy. It's a solid feel. It's a basketball shoe, good ankle support, and believe it or not, it has good structure. So it's like your feet don't really slide around like that. And me, I like to only lace up one of my shoes. So when I don't lace the other one up, I still get good ankle support when I don't have it laced tight. So yeah, I'm a big Kyrie shoe fan. I'm a Kyrie fan too. I like Kyrie, and we're gonna talk about that later on in the show. But anywho, that's it for the promotional part of the show. Let's go ahead and get into the say why portion of the show, where we talk about everything speech impediment related. All right, so I was scrolling through YouTube, and I came across some clips indirectly, and I looked at two movies, right? I looked at two parts in two movies, right? There's Idlewild, and then there's Harlem Nights, and both of those movies have a dude in the scene that stuttered real bad. You know what I'm saying? And I was analyzing both of those scenes. Like in Harlem Nights, it's the boxer dude. I think his name was like Jack. It wasn't Jack Johnson. It was Jack something though. What was his name again? I forgot. But anyway, he was a boxer dude. And he's up there like, going through trying to get his words out or whatever. And I pay attention to like the actor, and I pay attention to the people around him that are acting with him, and I pay attention to his response to like their reaction. It's always funny when I look at that, right? And the dude in Idlewild, I think the character's name was Sonny, that was played by Esau McGraw. I feel like Esau nailed it better, man, because it wasn't just the mechanics of the stutter. It was, you could tell he had the thoughts to go along with it. Like with the other dude, it was supposed to, in Harlem Nights, it was supposed to be a funny scene. They're both supposed to be like comedic reliefs, right? But in Harlem Nights, it's like really it's I just have to go back and watch those movies now, because I'm really curious now, because what were the intents of the message that the character was portraying in both of those instances, right? The question is, were the lines driving the story forward, or was it just, hey, let's take a break from what we're talking about to get some laughs, And my conjecture is, and I'm not sure, I have to go back and watch, I have to do my homework, I have to make sure I analyze this shit, But the key question is, if you take those parts out of the movie, or if you take either parts of those movies out, how far back does it set the story? Right? So my conjecture is with the Harlem Night scene, that was all just funny and fluff. That was like, it was supposed to be a comedic moment just to get laughs in. And then the Idlewild scene was actually something that was driving the story forward, But I'm not trying to get into analyzing scripts and analyzing movies. I'm really getting into do people really know what goes on when people have a lockup, or if they get stuck in a situation like that in front of a whole group of people? You know, like, do people really know what goes on in that situation? You know, and the reason why I think that Esau's portrayal of Sonny, the dude with speech impediment, was better was because you could see him reacting to other people reacting to him. You know what I'm saying? And you could tell he was like frustrated, and that's kind of how it is, you know. Whereas the other guy, it was kind of like, I felt like he was, I felt like the dude in Harlem Nights. I feel like he was doing it just to be funny, and it was supposed to be a funny moment, and that was it. But I don't know. I got to go back and rewatch those movies and analyze it. I'll come back and touch up on it. But a lot of times, man, look, a lot of people don't realize, man, that shit is traumatizing, man. When you in front of people and you can't get your words out, man, and you know what you want to say, but your body and your mouth just is like, nah, nigga, that shit is traumatizing, man. You know, and I'm not trying to make people feel guilty or make people feel sorry for it. I'm just saying, like, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. You know, it's not just, oh, you get up there and badoop, 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 badoop. That's all, folks. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not like that. You know, it's, you know, it can linger, you know, and then it can manifest itself in other areas of life, to where it's like, now it's like you're kind of unsure of yourself, you know. In short, it fucks with your confidence. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, you know. But yeah, so whenever you guys see a movie where there's a person that's being portrayed with a speech impediment in a comedic way, how does that make y'all feel? You know? Even Porky Pig, right? Porky Pig, that's supposed to be funny, right? Like, people laugh at it, you know, but it's like, do people really know what's going on? You know, get in the comment section, you know, Kermit the Frog, the comment section. I want to hear y'all thoughts, you know. I'm just curious, you know. Yeah, it's funny, but that's a key thing too, right? For all the scenes that people have watched with, like, characters that stutter or whatever, or have a speech impediment, can you, like, do you know what they were trying to get across, and how were they trying to advance the scene forward, you know? And I have another conjecture. I'm gonna make a bold statement right here, right? I'm gonna make a bold statement, right? This is my conjecture, right? With me growing up having a speech impediment or whatever, and with me being in the situations that I've been in, I'm gonna go on a limb here, and I'm gonna say that the people that didn't laugh in my face whenever I fucked up talking, those people were more forward progressing people, meaning that they're trying to advance things on, because they're trying to get to where they got to go. You know, they're trying to get to where they got to go, you know. I would say that those people are probably more goal oriented, meaning that I got to get this, and I got to get that. Okay, if it comes to me in a weird form, okay, I'll be patient with it, but I know I got to get this and I got to move on. It's not about the thing, it's about me getting the thing to get to where I want to go, right? Whereas people that actually laughed at it or whatever, I'm not gonna say that they're not goal oriented, but I would say that they allow themselves to be distracted more than the people that didn't laugh in my face, that were trying to move things on. That's just my conjecture. I'm not saying it's fact. I don't have any proof for that, you know. But that's just what I think based on my observation. But anywho, let's go ahead and get into this DFS talk. So as we know, NBA season is in effect. My Wizards are looking nice, aka the New Jersey Generals and shit. But I mean, the Wizards have a solid team, but you know, the NBA is scripted. You know, the NBA is, you'll never see an underdog team with a solid bench win the championship. If you want to win the title with the NBA or in the NBA, you need to get that Euro player or that freakish player that is like 7 foot that can play all five positions and then surround him with role players. The Wizards don't got that. We got like Bradley Beal is great, but I don't think you can build a team around Bradley Beal with Bradley Beal as the centerpiece to win the championship. Now, if you did it, that would be dope. But I'm just saying, and it's not even based on Bradley Beal's ability. It's more so, or more or less, based on his. It's more so based on how the league is calling the game. It's more so based on the rules and just how the game has changed. It's a basically the NBA is NBA Europa or it's Euro League. The Euro League has made its way to America. That's all it is, right? The NBA right now is the European version of the NBA, and it's in the United States. So with that being said, you got to like play the game according to the Euro rules. You got to get that player that can play all five positions and build a team around him, right? So unless the NBA changes up the rules and change up how they're gonna call the game or allow more shit to happen, you're gonna have to get that one special player and surround him with a great supporting cast, But anywho, let's get with daily fantasy sports, because I'm not gonna even really talk in terms of DraftKings and FanDuel, because I do both. But last week was a pretty decent week. I ended up in the green. Not too far in the green, but I think I probably doubled my money. And I'm not going to go into the details of the picks of who I picked, because I'm actually going to tell you who I'm going to pick for tomorrow's game, because today is Saturday. But my pattern upheld. The pattern held, right? And a lot of people just want to pick because they think they know. But I look at the data. See, I look at the numbers. I look at the averages. I look at all that, right? And not only that, I track the perfect lineups, right? Like right now, I got a spreadsheet on my computer I'm looking at right now, and I got the perfect lineups of each week. I got the main slate perfect lineups. I got the Monday night football game perfect lineups. I got the Thursday night football games. I got the Thursday night football game perfect lineup. I got the Sunday night NFL. You get the point, right? I got from weeks 1 to week 7, I got the perfect lineups, and I study who makes the list, what positions make the list each week, and the one thing I found out about the main slate, right, and to which the pattern has been upheld, the one thing I found out is, is in DraftKings, at least for DraftKings, you got to pick a different quarterback every week, right? Like Sam Darnold already made the perfect list, so you can't pick Sam Darnold again, right? Kyler Murray made the perfect lineup in week 1. I'm probably not going to pick him again. So Kyler Murray will probably make it again before the regular season is out, but just his value is too high. I'm not paying $8,500 for no quarterback, yo. If I pay $8,500 for any player, I need you to put up at least 40 points, right? I need at least 40 points if I'm gonna pay $8,500 for that. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, if you look at the quarterbacks, there's a different quarterback picked each week. So I do process of elimination, right? Who else made the list? So last week was Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins made the perfect list or the perfect lineup in DraftKings, and I think he made it for FanDuel, which is pretty weird because I track both lists, and typically the quarterbacks are different for the perfect lineup list. But who else do we have in the perfect lineup? Let me take a gander right quick. Let me just take a gander. Hold on a second. Let's take a look. Sheets. Here we go. So week 1 it was Jeff Goff. Week 2 was Kyler Murray. Week 3 was Josh Allen. Week 4 was Sam Darnold. Week 5 was Justin Herbert. Week 6 was Kirk Cousins, right? So, and I take that back. In DraftKings, the quarterbacks have been the same, with the exception of Week 1, where Jared Goff was in the perfect lineup for DraftKings, and Kyler Murray was in the perfect lineup for FanDuel. But anyways, lo and behold, so if you're picking repeat players and quarterbacks, that means you're probably not going to win. I mean, you can win some money, but you're not going to win that milli. And I'm after that milli. All right. Then also, what else, right? The running backs from week 1 to week 7 in DraftKings were all different. So if you do the math, all right, we're now in week 7. So 6 times 2 is 12. So you can go ahead and cross off 12 running backs off that list for tomorrow's lineup, right? Now receivers, there have been repeats, but the repeats have been periodic, right? Right. There is periodicity within the lineups, or when it comes to the receivers, there's a harmonic, right? That's that signals and systems talk, right? Like there's a harmonic, right? Meaning that there's a pattern, or there's a certain frequency at which players will come back around, right? So for example, Cooper Kupp having a hell of a season, but he makes the perfect lineup probably once every 2 weeks, right? Same with Cheetah, or what's his name? Cheetah. I call him Cheetah, but I should probably call him by his name. His name is Tyreek Hill, right? Tyreek Hill. Every 2 weeks. So if you look at the lineups, and if you look at the perfect lineup list, if you haven't picked Tyreek Hill in 2 weeks, you should probably pick Tyreek Hill. Just saying. And who else? Then we got tight ends. Yeah, so the tight end has been pretty fascinating, actually. I've been looking at these tight end lists because the tight ends, like, there's sometimes, like, I'm at the point now where I can look at the data, I can look at the raw numbers, and I can be like, yeah, this tight end's going off. Because typically, the pattern I look for with tight ends is, like, I'll look at them over like a 3-game. I'll look at their previous 2 games. And what I look for is if they start off at like a real low number, like at 0 points, and then they go to 1 point, right? And then, if they go from like 0 to 1 or like 0 to 2, that next game, they probably gonna pop to the high teens or like 20, right? And you have to look at the dollar range too, right? You don't want to spend too much for a tight end. Like the most you want to spend on average for a tight end is like $4,500, right? I mean, there's like rare cases where you want to pick Kelsey, but that's because no one else is going to go off. So you have to look at that case. But same thing with the tight ends. There's been a different tight end every week, right? Week 1, it was TJ Hawkinson. Week 2 was Max Williams. Week 3 was Tyler Conklin. Week 4 was Dawson Knox. Week 5, David Njoku. Week 6 was Noah Fant. And there's been no tight end over $4,900, right? The max was $4,900 and the min was $2,700, right? So what does that tell you, right? Pick a new tight end, stay under $4,900, right? So, and then the flex has been real interesting, right? The flex has always been a different player, but all the flexes have been wide receivers. And not just wide receivers, but they've been wide receiver ones. They've been non-wide receiver ones. They've either been wide receiver 2s or wide receiver 3s. And the max spent on those was like $5,100. So the data, all the information is there. The data is at your disposal. All you got to do is read the fucking data. It's all there, right? Now, defenses are hard. Defenses, I'm not going to front. I thought I had a pattern with the defenses. I saw some periodicity with the Cardinals, right? Because it was Cardinals week 1, Bills week 2, Cardinals week 3, Bills week 4. So guess what I did week 5? I played the Cardinals, and nope, it was the Eagles, right? So really, that's where I think you need to get into data averaging, right? You need to look at what that defense does on an average versus that team and see if they come anywhere near close to the value mark of making the milli maker, right? But anywho, but like I said before, the pattern has been upheld, right? The pattern hasn't changed. That's what I do. I look at patterns. So I'm not gonna tell y'all my whole lineup, but I'm gonna tell y'all who I'm going. I'm gonna tell y'all who I'm picking at quarterback this week. Y'all gonna laugh, but it's Tua time. It's Tua time. Tua is cheap. He playing at home. He got a chip on his shoulder because they trying to trade him for Deshaun Watson. He gonna ball out. So I got Tua, I got Waddle, and I got Mike Gesicki. I'm going with the triple stack. Or is that a double stack? And that's a double stack. Against Atlanta at home, you gotta take that. Right? I mean, I'm not gonna get into the numbers, but I looked at the numbers, I ran my numbers, I looked at the data. It's Tua time. It's Tua time this week. And then who else I got? Oh, running back. I got Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones gonna go off. Like, you gotta pick Aaron Jones this week. And then who else I got that I like? Oh yeah. Like I said before, when you gotta look at the harmonics, right? You have to look at the periodicity within the data, right? And it's been 2 weeks since Tyreek Hill went off. Chiefs are hurting. It's cheetah time. It's cheetah and Tua time this week, you know? So those are the main people I'm playing in my lineups, and that's why. So let me go ahead and get into let me talk about Monday Night Football, man. So as y'all know, I'm a Bills fan. And Monday Night Football, we played that wasn't a stutter. I had something in my throat, right? That wasn't see, y'all trying to watch for the wrong shit. Like, you have to watch me carefully. Like, I'm gonna call it out, but I said that because I'm so aware of what I'm doing that I had to make sure you get the point. Let me take a sip of this right quick. Got something in my throat. But anywho, as y'all know, I'm a Bills fan. This past Monday night, we played the Titans. And I'm so sick of the fucking Titans, man. But look, here's the thing, right? I don't get emotional over sports anymore. The only thing I get emotional over is DFS. Right? Because think about it, right? I don't know Josh Allen. I don't know any of the Bills players personally. I don't know the niggas. You know what I'm saying? So why am I gonna get mad and get all worked up over them losing the game when they gonna go home with their paycheck and go fuck with their hoes? Like, they got hoes, man. They kings. Them niggas is kings. Right? They got the bread. They can fuck who they want to fuck. Why am I gonna worry about another dude who's getting his check and living his life over a damn game? Now, if I pick him in my lineup and he costs me some money, then yeah, I'm gonna get emotional, right? I only get emotional over money. Call me petty, call me whatever, but hey, sports is entertainment, you know? Like I said, I don't have any ill will towards these players, but I don't really care. Like, look, these dudes go out here and they play, and just to be in the NFL is a blessing, right? Because they're in a sport or in an organization that is a multi-billion-dollar company that they get a lot of money from. So all I'm saying to you is this, right? If you're a fan of a sport or of a team, kudos to you, but you gotta be smart, man. You gotta be smart with your time, man. Time is money, money is time, you know? It's cool to go and get the jersey and to get the hat and to go to the game and post up and put selfies on Instagram and drink a latte comfortably and shit and look at the game and watch your team play. But if you don't have any money in DraftKings or any money at all, I'm not saying you gotta fuck with DraftKings, but if you don't have any money on anything and you just giving your time and you getting emotional over players not playing the way you want them to play and they get paid, you losing in life. That's not the formula for success. If you're going to watch an hour of any sport, you need to have at least a quarter on the game. At least a dime, right? You need that, right? You need that ROI. You need that return on investment. But anywho, let me go ahead and talk about these Bills, right? So, um, Bills played the Titans. I predicted the Bills would lose. Um, and the main reason why I picked the Bills were going to lose was because, like I said, I'm a man of the numbers, right? The If you looked at the Monday night football record, right? If you looked at the excuse me, if you looked at the record for Monday night football for this past year, the home team is 6-0 on Monday night football. Right? Now it's going to be a team that goes on the road and wins on Monday night football, but you got to go with the data. You got to go with the numbers. If they're 5-0, 6-0, that's for a reason. So I said, okay, I know the Bills are going to lose this game. And I played two lineups. You know, I did my analysis. I said, okay, when the winning team, I did two lineups, right? Like typically, in DraftKings, there's this thing called what is it called? It's called the showdown captain mode, right? And you got to pick a captain for double the value for 1.5 times the points. And then you got to pick 5 other flex players. And what I gathered from my data, what I deduced was the winning team always has 4 players. The losing team has has 2 players. And the captain always the captain is always on the winning team, right? Those are the 3 things that I've deduced from all the Monday night games, right? So I did 2 lineups, right? I did one that was pro Titans. I did one Bills lineup, and because I'm a fan, right? Just in case. And I got the captain right. I picked Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry if you look at the data, Derrick Henry was due for a big game. But the thing that threw me off was Derrick Henry was the only Titan in the winning lineup. In the perfect lineup, sorry. After all that shit I did, all the analysis, all the data I did, 1 Titan, 5 Bills. I would have never picked that shit. Right? So that just shows you how the shit works, you know? So that maybe that's an anomaly, but now I gotta go back and I gotta factor that in and deduce something else for next week's game. You know? So let me go ahead and get on with the NBA stuff, right? So last week I had my NBA draft. I'm in a NBA fantasy league. It's called Jumpers and Jokes, I think it is, or Jokes and Jumpers. I had a pretty good draft. It was a decent draft. I picked 8th out of 10 people. You know, so the best player I could pick at the time really was James Harden, and I'm cool with that. I'll take James Harden at 8. But guess what I did on that snake around? Guess what I did on that snake around? I had to reach for my boy Melo. I got my boy LaMelo Ball. I know niggas was mad because typically you're supposed to pick Melo or LaMelo. I see people call him Melo, but then people think when you say Melo that you think about Carmelo Anthony. But anyways, I know people were mad when they saw me pick LaMelo at number like 13 or 14 because typically on average he was going around number 20. But I was like, man, nah. If I'm picking 8, I'm making y'all pay. So I went ahead and I reached, and I got Melo. I got LaMelo Ball, and that's a dope pick. I'm happy with that, right? Other notable picks that I made, I got Spencer Dinwiddie, who's been going off. I got my man Montrezl Harrell on the Wizards. Who else I get? What's some more players that I got? Yeah, I got Buddy Hield. That's a solid pick, I think. Who else I get? I got I got Miles Turner on the Pacers. I got Bam Adebayo. So I'm liking my lineup right now. But I got to go back and look at the scoring in our league again because I got some questions because I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I'm in 7th place because I'm a newcomer and that's just how they ranked everything for now. But I'm looking at my games per week, and I'm like winning everything, but I'm not moving. So I just got to go back and see like how long, like what's the period for when I have to change up opponents, you know. But what else, man? Let's get into some NBA talk, man. I want to talk about this jab. And when I say the jab, you know what I mean. But as y'all know, Kyrie Irving is not getting the jab, and he's sitting out, right? And Stephen A. is just dumping all over this dude, in full coon fashion. He's just shitting all over Kyrie, you know. But whatever. But the funny thing is, see, there's something going on between Stephen A. and Kyrie. There's something going on because Stephen A. A lot of players don't like Stephen A. You know, and it's not rocket science. You know, a lot of players don't like Stephen A. Like, for example, I know Kevin Durant and him they had some issues because Stephen A. seems like he's one of those type of dudes that always is like, oh, I got his number in my phone and we talk on a regular basis. And a lot of these niggas like, man, yeah, he got my number, but I don't talk to that dude like that. So he's like I feel like he's trying to be the Adam Schefter of the NBA, you know, where Adam Schefter doesn't have a show, but he has a platform. He uses his Twitter and tweets, and he gets his information and puts it out there. But really, Woj is like the equivalent of Adam Schefter because anything they put out is like pretty much fact. Stephen A. is just all hot air, you know, like he's a caricature of himself, right? But anyways, the funny thing about Stephen A. and this whole Kyrie jab situation is Stephen A. is not getting in on Bradley Beal like that. Why isn't Stephen A. coming at Bradley Beal? Because from what I've gathered, Bradley Beal didn't get that jab, and he said he's not getting the jab. He has the same stance as Kyrie, but you don't see Bradley Beal getting no smoke for it. So why is that? You know what I'm saying? So this is a good lesson in what's the word I'm looking for? For socio homeostasis or socio. This is just a good example or a good lesson in just social governing dynamics, right? Where the media, you see the power of the media, right? So for example, with Stephen A. coming down on Kyrie the way he's coming down on Kyrie, when you talk to people about Kyrie, they have a negative connotation about Kyrie, you know? Like I know folks that are like, man, fuck Kyrie and Kyrie's special and oh, Kyrie is this and he's a problem child and all this, that, and the third, but you don't see no one talking about Bradley Beal like that. Not like Bradley Beal. I'm not trying to start no beef. I'm not trying to get the magnifying glass on him, but I'm just asking the question. Why are people coming for Kyrie and they not coming for Bradley Beal? I got questions, you know? But anyway, let's go ahead and move on. Let's go ahead and, cause I feel like I'm being like a little long-winded, but that's okay, you know? That's why we have these talks, you know, to just kind of get it all out. Let's go ahead and move on to the work talk segment of my show. You know, work talk. We're gonna talk this work corporate America bullshit talk, right? Because like part of what I'm trying to do is I know like so as y'all know I'm a comedian. I tell jokes, and a lot of comedians I know like they're trying to get those corporate gigs, right? Like they want to go and get a corporate job, get a corporate gig to where they can go do corporate jokes. And then do the safe jokes that corporate America wants to hear so they can get that big fat check. You know, and I don't blame them. That's the game. For any comedian that wants to go out there and do that, knock yourself out, man. Go out there and do it. But that's not my aim, right? I mean, my aim is I'm trying to bring corporate America. I got to be careful how I say this. I'm trying to bring corporate America to my realm, right? Meaning that I'm going to talk this shit from a different angle. Like my angle is I was the quiet motherfucker in the cube, you know, working, doing my job, but I always had a strong opinion about shit. But I kept quiet. And I'm the dude that's like, hey, I'm speaking up on this shit. You know? So y'all should thank me, you know, because I'm putting my neck on the line for y'all, man. I'm the voice of the disgruntled workers in corporate America. That's me, you know. So today I want to talk about acting at work. In order to be successful in corporate America, you have to learn how to act at work. And excuse me. It amazes me how a lot of people have not figured that out. All right, you have to learn how to act at work. Now, what do I mean when I say act at work? So I took an acting class, right? And I'm not going to call myself an actor by any means, but I kind of know some of the processes and kind of the methods of how to get into character and all that kind of stuff. But one of the things I've learned from an acting class that I took is that actors have thoughts, right? They tell you in acting class, don't act like a person, be a person. You are a person, right? People have thoughts, so you should have thoughts too, right? Actors have thoughts. So a lot of people, it amazes me how they get emotional at work. That's the thing, right? See, well, one of the main cruxes of working in corporate America is they gonna try you, they gonna test you. That's the game. They're trying to get you to do the most amount of work possible to pay you the least, and they're trying to piss you off at the same time to see how quickly can you snap to give them back their check. Right? That's the name of the game in corporate America. So acting at work. Right? I've worked with a lot of people that I could give two shits less about. Right? But the common thing that people tell me when they get to know me, the people that I let get to know me outside of work, is they're like, yo, man, you're like not what I thought you were. Like at work, man, you're so quiet. Or, hey, you speak so politely and so professionally, and you know what to say, and you kind of stay within the bounds. But outside of work, man, looks like you have everyone figured out. You damn right I got people figured out, man. I mean, I've been doing this for a minute, you know, so I know the game. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna start my own line of work. Like, you know how you have AMS who does the dating coach stuff, and then you got Kevin Samuels is a dating coach. I think I'm gonna start up my own venture. Right? I'm gonna be a corporate America coach. I'm gonna coach motherfuckers on how to survive in corporate America. You send me your emails or put in the comment section your situation at work that you're trying to navigate. You put it in the comment section. I bet you I have an answer for you. I bet you I have a solution for you. And my solution is going to work. Because I've been around the block and then some. But let me stop talking shit. Let me go ahead and continue about acting at work, right? So, but all my coworkers, like, they're surprised to see when I get outside of work and I break this shit down to them. They're like, yo, I never thought. That just seems so dirty, but you're right. Like, the way I think, it's very I don't want to say street light, but it's very informal and it's just real. Like end of the day, why are you here? Like, you here to make money, right? And not just make money, but you're here to make money as easy as possible. Now, I'm not promoting anyone being lazy, or I'm not trying to tell anybody to, you know, go in there and slouch and do whatever. But if you're giving 110% at work, why? Why? I'm waiting. People are like, well, I have to prove yourself to who? Yeah, fuck out of here, man. The way I work is I go to work, I look at what's expected, I look at what's written down, and I go by that, you know? And then I look at the goals, and I basically write out my goals such that my goals basically, I write out the goals of basically what's at the next skim level at the bottom of the next position I'm trying to get. And then I do half of that. Right? Because at the end of the day, you're going to get the same check. Why am I going to get out there and bust my ass to get the same amount of money? Right? When you work in corporate America, you got to make your mind up. Either like if you're going there to climb a ladder, or if you're going there to get, or if you're going there to get comfortable, you losing the game. You don't get the game. You don't get it. I know people in corporate America that have successfully climbed the ladder, and they make probably $250,000 a year easily. But guess what they got? They got a phone on their hip with the CEO speed dialed in on their shit. Whenever the CEO calls, they gotta act. They gotta. Whenever the CEO calls, they gotta jump, and it's not just jump. It's how high, sir, and where do you want me to land, and how softly. 24/7. That to me is not worth it. That's not quality of life, right? And then you got some people that go to work and they want to get comfortable and just kind of get in like a little pocket and just kind of sit there and not do anything but just get money so they can support their habits for the weekend just to get laid off. You losing the game. That's not the game, man. The object of the game in corporate America is to do your job, but it's to do your job and not give 100%, get the most amount of money that you can while not doing 100%, and then taking that money outside of work and building something to where you don't need them niggas no more. That's the game. Now, if I'm lying, I'm lying. But I'm just telling you from my perspective and what I've learned, right? But anyways, let's get back to acting at work, right? So I know I sound like an asshole and I sound passive aggressive, but this is the truth. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are like, how can you, because I've been in situations where I've been in meetings where I had people say, where like I've been yelled at, I've been reprimanded. I had people talk down to me and say unprofessional things to me at work and whatever. But people are like, how do you keep your cool? How are you able to give a response that is so professional and you don't get overworked? And it's because of my acting class, right? In acting class, we learn that actors have thoughts, right? And when you read a line, right, you have to be able to read context, right? And really, the acting class that I took before was a script analysis class, right? Where basically you look at the script and, you know, you have to be able to say, okay, if it's single cam, it's driven by punctuation. So the punctuation tells you pretty much the behavior and the subtleties, right? Whereas multicam, you look for the jokes with threes, right? So anyways, the thing I've learned is it's not the words that come out, it's the thought behind the words. It's the thought that drives the words, right? So, for example, if you're at work and you got a motherfucker coming at you saying some unprofessional shit, they're trying to rattle you so you jump out of your cage so they can get you fired or not. Well, to get you sent to HR so they could potentially get you fired, right? So the moment you feel like you want to say, man, fuck you, or like, you know, you want to say something hostile, what you have to learn how to do is you have to learn how to internalize that thought and say, fuck you mentally, but deliver the words with that fuck you energy, right? So for example, there's a difference between saying, have a nice day and have a nice day, right? You see the difference? One is have a nice day. The other is have a nice day, right? Just, you got to learn how to just do that shit so, you know, they don't rattle you, right? And when you say the words that you're supposed to say, but you say it with a certain thought behind those words, you're going to catch other people off guard. And my whole thing is, right, I'm not trying to catch people off guard. I'm trying to just disarm them so I can get back to my job, so I can keep doing what I'm doing, so I can keep getting this check. Right? Now, I don't want to be doing this forever. I can tell you that right now. I don't want to be 60 playing this fucking game. If I'm 60 playing this fucking game, I've lost. Right? That's why I play DraftKings, right? That's why I'm hustling. Right? I put my energy outside of work so I can build my own shit and live off my own shit. All right? So that's the thing, man. You guys got to learn how to not get emotional at work. I had people, man. I've had people, man, at my job, man, like just real, like you have some real grade A bitches at work. When I say bitches, I don't mean females. I mean motherfuckers that just have bad intentions. Like everything they say and do, they have bad intentions. You know what I mean? Like for example, I remember I was in a situation and this motherfucker was like smart guy, but just an asshole. He was like he didn't like working with me or whatever, and he was like just all openly and just you know trying to berate me, just like, hey man, oh my god, dude, you don't know anything. Like, what school did you go to, man? Like, if I were you, I would ask to get my money back because you don't know anything. Most people would be offended by that kind of shit. Me, I laugh in that motherfucker's face, man, and I'll just be like, hey man, we gotta get back on task, right? Or I'll say some shit like, oh, hey, is there a charge number for this conversation that we having? Right? Because that's code for, hey, that's code for you not doing your work. Right? When people say some shit like that, I would say something like I said, I'll be like, hey man, is there a charge number for this conversation that we having? And then let them go figure it out. But that means I'm back on the job. I got to get shit done. I don't give a fuck about you. I'm trying to get this shit done so I can go the fuck home and build what the fuck I'm building so I can get the fuck away from you. Right? That's how I think. Call me an asshole, call me whatever, but that's the game. You play to win the game. Right? But anywho, I think I've harped on that a little bit. I think I harped on that enough. But let me go ahead and let's talk about some Halloween talk, right? So, as y'all know, Halloween is around the corner. It's about a week away. And I want to talk about the Halloween haters, right? So, me, I typically like to dress up for Halloween. I like to make a costume, go out, have a good time, I like to be creative. That's my thing, right? But this year, I don't think I'm dressing up for Halloween. Nothing personal. I just have like more pressing issues to tend to. Right now, if there was a Halloween costume contest where there was a substantial prize, where the prize was huge, where we're talking like thousands of dollars, or if we're talking hey, we'll knock out your student loan or whatever. Hey, I'm not making this video right now. I'm working on my costume. But if it's for like $200, if it's for like a couple $100 or whatever, man, I'm not messing with that. Because it's all about efforts. You have to look at. I think as I've matured in life, I said matured. As I have matured in life, I have learned that you don't have infinite energy, right? So you can't put effort towards everything. Like when you come on, Dre. Like when you put energy towards something, right? Like, let me go and break it down this way, right? You only have 100% energy in a day. There's no extra percent energy, right? You only have 100% energy in a day. So if you put 90% towards something in a day, that means you only have 10% left for that day. That's just fact. That's how the shit works, Or how about this? If you find that if you say that you put 100% into something, and then you got 50% energy left elsewhere, that means you didn't put 100% into what you said you were doing, right? So you have to be careful. It's about being realistic with expectation is what I'm getting at, right? You can't sit up here and kid yourself and say you're going to give 100% all the time, right? I got to go back and read that book or reread that book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, because he does a good job of breaking that down in that book. Like, the key to life is you have to learn what things to give a fuck about. And right now, Halloween is just not on my priority. It's not on my list, Now, if you give me a reason to care for it, then I'll get to making my costume right now. But here's like the real reason why, or an additional reason why I'm not really going to dress up for Halloween this year, right? And it's because of the Halloween haters, right? one Halloween, maybe this was like maybe like 2 Halloweens ago, three, I forgot. Maybe like this was a Halloween in the past, maybe like 2, 3 years ago. Me and my boy Sharp, we had this idea to go and do a tag team duo or to do a duo Halloween costume, right? We're both in LA and we did Turbo and Ozone from Breaking. No, to me, it's amazing. It's amazing how I haven't seen anyone do Turbo and Ozone in LA and this movie, and that's a movie that is based in LA, right? So, anyways, Sharp was Ozone, I was Turbo. I had the red sweatsuit or the red sweatpants, and I had the blue jacket, and I had the broom with the fishing string. I mean, the details were on point. Had the boom box, everything. And then Sharp had everything, man. The pants, the hat. Like we spent like we spent a lot of time on our costumes, right? And we just said, we're gonna go. Hey, I said, look, I found this club, I found this venue that's doing this Halloween costume contest. Top prize is like $500 or whatever, and whatever else, right? So I was like, let's go do this. And he was like, yeah. So we got our costume ready. We're making our costumes or whatever. And it was a big event, a big deal. We did all this shit. And then we get to the venue, we get there, then we stand in line, and you see people just looking at us like, yo, oh, they actually put effort into this. People were like, yo, they knew who we were. It wasn't, hey, what are y'all? They knew who we were. They were like, you saw it on their face. They were like, man, why didn't I think of that? So we're standing in line, and me, I peep game, right? And the bouncer kept looking over at us. And you could tell he was looking over at us like, at first it was, oh, it's too crowded, y'all can't go in. So that's why y'all standing outside, Then it turned into, hey man, you can't bring that in the club. Talking about my broom. 'Cause I had a broom and I had a boom box. He was like, it was a boom box with no batteries in it, but it was part of the prop of my costume. He's like, yeah, you can't bring the broom in here and you can't bring the boom box in here. He was like, no props. So my first question is, if y'all having a Halloween costume party contest, where the fuck are the rules at? Right? That's probably the main reason why I don't fuck with Halloween costume contests like that. Cause I need to know all the rules, all the particulars. Because what goes on a lot of times is those club promoters and everybody else, they already know who they want to win the contest. They got some homeboy or someone coming through that needs the cash, and they disguise the shit to make it seem like everybody can win. But really, they already picked who they want to win the shit. But when they see you come in with some dope shit, it's like, hey man, nah, you can't bring that in here. Or that boom. Like, spell the rules out. If you have a Halloween costume contest, say no props, right? Say no props. Say make sure the rules are just really spelled out so people know. So when I put this kind of time into it, I don't end up wasting my time. You know what I'm saying? So here it is. We sat in line. We waited, and then he waited for us to get to the front just to be like, yeah, you can't bring that in. So I was like, nigga, you a hater. I didn't say that to his face, but I was just thinking to myself, man, this dude is a hater. You know what I'm saying? So we walked around LA trying to find just a bar to go to just to go celebrate Halloween and shit. And people were like loving our costume because they knew who we were. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I'm not doing this shit, because just the rules are not really spelled out. I need the rules spelled out, and then the prize has to be substantial, because I've done some dope costumes, but I'm not going to sit up here and waste my time and my energy putting together a dope costume just to be told I can't get in somewhere, or I'm not eligible for this. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm good. That's where I'm at. But, what else we got? Yeah, before we go any further, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Right now, like I said before, I'm at Eric Smedley number of followers, meaning I'm at number 40. I'm at 40 numbers of followers, right? And I'm trying to get to Reggie Gilliam followers. I'm trying to get, or why do I keep saying followers? It's subs. On YouTube, it's subs. So yeah, I'm trying to get to Reggie Gilliam number of subs. I'm trying to get to 41 subs by the end of the week. But anywho, let me talk about this last thing right quick, and I'm gonna get up out of here. So this is the comedy bump portion of the show where we talk about everything comedy bump related. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been doing comedy for a minute. I got jokes. I'm always working on my craft. I'm never good enough. Like that's my thing, right? If you want to be number one, you got to train like you number two, right? And right now I'm number 10. I mean, not really, but I got to keep training. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to be my worst critic. I can always do something better. I can always do something more clever. That's just how I am, right? But my journey in comedy has been full of so many bumps, man. Like I've been through so much shit. I'm not saying I've been through more shit than anybody else, but I've learned to be thankful for the bumps and the shit that I go through because it gives me shit to talk about later, right? So, one thing that I keep kind of bumping my head on while I'm out here in Hollywood is I'm starting to like bump elbows with like people that have more status or people that have a name in comedy more, right? Like they're starting to like kind of come up to me and approach me a little bit more, Like they'll come up and be like, "Hey, I'm so and so," right? And some of them are like real famous. Some of them are just like more famous than me. You know what I'm saying? But they'll come up to me and they'll be like, "Hey, man, I'm so and so. What's your name?" And I keep fucking up. All right, I keep going. "Hey, man, I know who you are. I'm so and so," and I get that look like, "I nigga, you're not really one of us." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be getting that look. So I got to do a better job of that. Like, it's funny when you like study somebody or watch somebody's work and you see them on TV a lot and they come up to you and they're like, "Hey, I'm so and so. What's your name?" And then it's like, then you're like, "Man, yeah, I know who you are. I watched all your work. Yeah, I'm so and so." So I gotta do a better job of. I have to basically pretend that I'm a star. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I have to work on, right? When people come up to me and they say, "Hey, man, I'm so and so," I gotta be like, "Yo, I'm AT. What's going on? Nice to meet you." Boom. And then if we have more convo, cool. If we don't, we don't. Like, you know what I mean? So that's what I gotta work on. I should probably write a joke about that. Like I got this one comic, man. Let me. I gotta kind of preface this too. So last week we lost a brother in our comedy community. Ricardo Flanagan. Still messing with me right now. Like I didn't know him like the rest of the community did, but he was putting in work, man. He was putting in work, and not just putting in work, man. His brother was talented, man. I came across his path. We did one comedy show at the Good Night back in August, and I didn't know who he was, and I wasn't even supposed to be on the show. I was a fill-in. Like someone dropped out the lineup, and I got a call like the week before to be on the show. And I remember I was there. I was at the show, whatever, and I saw this big dude in the corner, and he looked kind of intimidating or whatever. And I got on stage. I did my jokes. I got my laughs or whatever. But then when he went up, it was like, yo, this dude is like, wow, this motherfucker just talented, just funny, man, just funny dude, man. Then afterwards, man, he came up to me and was like, "Hey, man, you were funny, man. Nice job, nice set." You know what I'm saying? And we dapped up, man, and we rapped for like 5 minutes. We exchanged IGs, and that was it. And that was the last time I saw him, But yeah, man. But rest in power to my brother, man. I'm looking at the work that he was doing all along. He was on Shameless. And I didn't know he was like doing hip hop. Man, he was doing hip hop, music, everything, man, and just well respected within the comedy community, man. And it's very humbling to kind of witness all this because you can see how easy it is to be talented and to have a large body of work and still have people not know who you really are, But people gonna know who he is when it's at the end of the day, people gonna know who he is, man, because, or they're gonna know who he was because, the one thing I heard, like from different, cause I went to, the one thing I heard about, or I heard from different comedians who knew him like more than I did, is they all said the same thing. They were like, "Yo, he helped me audition for this," like, and not just help. He put on his director's hat and he was coaching me through what they were going to do and how this all worked out. And he took the time and just called me up to come help me out, you know? So that's one thing I learned about. I think I learned a valuable lesson from this whole thing. The thing I took from my experience this weekend is, how do you want people to remember you, you know? Especially in the comedy world. Like, how do you want people to remember you, you know? Like, yeah, it's cool to be famous and all that, but what do you want echoed around the community about you, you know? And it just made me think more about, man, if something were to happen to me, what would people say about me now, you know? And now, like, I'm more focused on like, I'm still focused on on my goals and what I'm trying to do, but you also have to take into consideration, you know, how are you being received, you know, or there's a fine line with that, because you don't want to be so worried about your image, but you also want to make sure that those core things about you come out, you know? So, yeah, I just thought about that a lot. Like, man, like, this dude had, like, everyone was just saying different things, and they were just great. I'm like, man, I gotta do better, you know? But anyways, the reason why I brought that story up, or brought that situation up, is because there's another comedian who was real close to Ricardo that I met. I met him probably like 4 years ago, maybe. I met him at a concert, and I'm a fan of his work. You know, I saw him do his half hour on Comedy Central back like in 2012 or 2011. He's been on the 5150 show, you know, and real funny dude, man. And when I met him at the concert or whatever, you know, we talked, we rapped or whatever and stuff, and you know, that was that or whatever. And then a few years passed by, and I see him again at this comedy club that I'm at, and he walks by, but like, I reintroduced myself to him, and he won't let that shit go, man. Man, he will not let that shit go. To this day, he will not let that shit go. Like, every time I see him, he's like, hey man, I'm so and so. He's like, what's your name again? And he's testing me, because if I give him my name again, I'm like, yo, he's like, look, man, I'm not Hollywood. You don't got to do that with me, you know? But man, he be giving me shit, and it's funny, you know? But he's right? And that kind of all ties into what I was saying before about, you know, when people that have higher status than you come up to you and introduce themselves to you, it's like, you have to kind of get out of the fan mode, right? Because I think it's real easy to be a fan of somebody, but then when that person approaches you and they introduce themselves to you, like you can't let them know that you're a fan. I mean, yeah, you can, but there's a time for that, but not off the bat, you know? So it's more, I got to do a better job of that. Like, when they come up to you and say, hey, I'm so-and-so. Like, let's say, for example, if Dave Chappelle came and introduced himself to me, right? Right, it would be weird. Or let's say if Dave Chappelle introduced himself to you, right? Like, he probably knows you know who he is, but he might just be humble and just be one of those type of dudes that's like, hey, I'm Dave. What's your name? You can't be like, oh, hey, Dave, I know who you are. I'm so-and-so. Like, he gonna be like, man, this nigga a fan, man. Whatever, I'm gonna leave this nigga alone, right? But you got to be like more, like, at least me, I got to do a better job of, you know, when they introduce themselves to me, I got to be like, oh, how you doing? Oh, hey, Dave, what's going on? Or, hey, not Dave. Hey, so-and-so, I'm AT. Nice to meet you. Boop, boop, boop. Real simple, move on, you know? But anywho, what else do I have going on this week? I was supposed to have a show on Tuesday. I think I got bumped to a slot in November. But I got to go back and double check. I have some more things in the works as the flyers come out, and as everything comes out, you guys will hear about it. Yeah, so make sure you guys follow me on my IG or all forms of social media. Is AT is where it's at. AT is where it's at on all forms of social media. Follow me. And one more time, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell a friend and tell a friend. Jam up the comment section, with questions. If you want to roast me, I'll roast your ass back. Yeah, but do all that shit, man. Let's get this thing popping. You know what I'm saying? But with all that being said, once again, AT is where it's at on all forms of social media. And that's all, folks. I'm out. Peace.